Hi guys, and welcome back to another Wardle Restorations video. Now in today's video I'm going to start off probably by explaining why I'm sat on this pile of sleepers. We're going to take a look at some of the things that have been going on during the winter period here at the railway, as well as some of the issues we've had with various land and things we've had to move around, as well as land we've purchased and some of the assets that we've sold on. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. As always, any feedback is always appreciated in the comment section, and if this is your first time here, please do subscribe. So let's jump into the intro and have a look at what's been going on here at the Colne Valley Railway. So what's been going on? Now, as you can see, where I'm sat is what used to be our Riverside sidings and storage area. We used to have the TPO over here, and where the camera is at the moment is where Blue Star used to be. Unfortunately, due to issues beyond our control, we have had to vacate this area, which has meant lifting both these sidings. And bear in mind, this sidings had, what, there's 3, 4, maybe 5 coach lengths worth of stuff, and the same again on this one. So we lost a lot of storage space, which is very unfortunate. And obviously what you'd have seen in the beginning, the opening shot, the pile of sleepers, is where a lot of that material has ended up. Now, although we've lost this area of land, it's not all bad news, as I'll show you slightly further back down the site. So where I'm standing now is actually where my brake van used to be. Now, this is where I filmed a lot of the episodes, and as you'd have seen on the channel, those episodes have been non-existent for a little while. And the long and short of it is, and the reality of it is we were given 4 weeks to vacate this site all the way up to our boundary line, and that pretty much meant everyone here had to drop tools on things they were working on and get stuck in. It was a real team effort to get this area cleared, but we did manage to do it within the time limit given, which is fantastic. But yeah, it is a shame that I won't be working on things here anymore, but with long-term plans for the future, there will definitely be brake van updates. But for those who've been asking, this is basically why. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to the new bits of track that have been laid. So where I am now is where some of our new track work has gone in. Now the boundary, our boundary is just behind me here. It's not, I probably can't see it very well on the camera, but what we had to do is basically get the track moved over here and then reconnect it to the engineering department behind us here. And what they've done is they've moved all the track over, they've put this point in here, reconnected it there. As you can see to the left of the shot there, that's where the track originally used to start for the siding. However, the point at the very back that connected to the old Riverside sidings has now made a very long siding for us to make use of here. Then the next part after that will be to reconnect this right hand side here to engineering to where the back of that coach is. Right, so where I'm standing here is where the last bit of track needs to join to the isolated area here. Now the initial plan will be to connect it to this piece of track, as we need to get this Mark 1 BG, which is our old office coach, out, as that has actually sold. Now just a few hours ago we had the guys in to remove a small amount of asbestos that was found during an asbestos inspection. So that has now been removed, so hopefully once the paperwork's done for that, we can complete the sale, and then I'll leave it up to the guys who've bought it to announce where it's going and so on. But if you stick around later on in the video, I'll also show you guys some of the other bits that we still have for sale, as well as things that are still on site that have been sold, and just give you guys a little bit of update on some of the stock we have here. So if you fancy yourself some rolling stock, then do stick around to later on in the video. But as I say, the main aim will be to get this rejoined, and then the long-term plan later on down the line will be to have a point where the camera is, which will join up to this piece of track with the crane on it. So once this piece of track is in, we can then have this coach removed, as that's the priority, to get this out, emptied and hopefully sold. Then once that's done, if I move out of the way, you might be able to see the small tank engine, the small saddle tank down there, Barrington. That I believe has just had an offer accepted on it. So once this is out, we can then slew the track over, which means we can then pull some of the stock out there that has sold. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this side, but as you can see, with the time we've had, we've made a huge amount of progress. If you do come and visit the site during the season, hopefully you understand that making it tidy down that end wasn't so much of a priority. It was more clearing as much stuff as we could, but we have gone to an effort over the last couple of weeks to try and tidy it up a little bit. But yeah, please bear with us if you do come and visit. We are trying our best with the limited amount of volunteers that we have.
Hi Ollie, I'm Paul Lemon, Chairman of the Colne Valley Railway. We've had a challenging winter this year. An area of land that we've been using for storage for probably 25 years plus, but we don't own. We were given 4 weeks notice to clear, ready to make it available for disposal to someone else. As a result, we've had to spend an awful lot of our winter work period and manpower clearing the site, and that included a display siding and a storage siding and creating alternative facilities elsewhere on site. It does mean we have an area that we were keeping clear, ready to develop, that we've now had to store in directly in the public route, which is a shame, but we'll be, as the time goes on, we will be developing that in the way we want, and things will move around and it will suddenly become clear exactly what we're trying to do. So what we are trying to achieve going forward is an area set aside for the restoration of coaches, wagons and diesel locos, and also a steam locomotive running shed. The second change this winter is the last remaining piece of land that we didn't own, we have just been able to buy, and that is our steam loco engineering area. So every piece of line and land that we are using, we now own, which has to be a great step forward. Yeah, so 2023, and I think every railway has found this, was quite a poor year in terms of trading. And while we did turn over more money, it was related to the price rise and not by increased numbers. Numbers have remained decidedly static across the industry, and that's not just Heritage Railways. I speak to various tourist attractions and accommodation providers, and it really was a poor year. So we need to get our numbers back to the pre-COVID level that we were achieving in 2018 and 2019, and that's basically about a third increase on where we are today, or where we were last year. So DriveX is proving extremely popular and resilient, which is really good. We have more bookings than we have currently space available, so we'll be trying to fit a few more in. HST DriveXs have been decidedly popular this year because of the novelty and because of the interest in them currently. So we'll be doing quite a few more of those. The first big event of the year, obviously we're reopening at Easter next weekend, Good Friday, 4 days, and that will include the Easter Bunny on his rounds at various intervals, talking to children and having photos taken. And then our first main railway event is the Miniature Railway Gala in mid-May. As following the success of the last 2 years, we're obviously doing it again, but with the changes that have been made to the site. In common with all Heritage Railways, we rely on our volunteers for the manpower to develop the site and to run the trains. We've got some good teams developed, but we are, following the pandemic, quite weak in some other areas. So particularly signalmen, guards, we're looking for a permanent way maintenance team and leader. So there's a number of roles that really can need to be supported. But any area, even if I've not named the area, we're always looking for people to work on coaches, on wagons, which Ollie does a really good job, and steam locomotives. We were down to 1 steam driver following the pandemic. This year we're back up to 3, and there's 4 new firemen coming through, but we're always looking for more because people want to develop and get through into the better roles of where they can.
So today is Friday the 22nd of March 2024, so if you're seeing this in a year's time or whenever for whatever reason, and there's a chance that some of the assets I show you now might have gone or be no longer available. But what I'll do is I will leave my email in the description of this video as well as on screen now. So if you have any inquiries about any of this stuff, then please just drop me an email. So what I'll do now is show you what we've got for sale, what's gone, and what is pending an agreement. So here we have Barrington, the 040 saddle tank. Now this belonged to a group we call the Riverside group, who own this, the LNER brake van and the tank wagon. Of course, if you've seen on the channel, I purchased the tank wagon from them, which left the brake van and Barrington. Barrington, I believe, now has had an offer accepted on it, although I'm not entirely sure where it's going to end up. However, obviously this can't come out and the stock behind it can't come out until the coach has gone and the track has been slewed over. So here we have the CCT. Now this is currently for sale. If you'd have seen if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see that there's been an advert up there for a little while now. We're currently open to offers on this vehicle. It's currently used as a dry stores here in the engineering department. However, as you can see, the bodywork requires a lot of TLC. But as I say, we're open to offers. So if this is something of particular interest, like I mentioned earlier, drop me an email, and if you'd like to come and view it, that can be arranged. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the LNER brake van that belonged to the Riverside group. As you can see, it required, from the advert, if you'd seen the pictures on the advert, it required a lot of work, but there was someone who actually bought it. It actually sold within, I think, about an hour and a half of actually listing it. And as you can see here, the owner's come down and strapped a tarpaulin to the top of it in preparation for when we can eventually get it out, and then he can come and have it taken away by road. But yeah, hopefully the new owner enjoys this project, and I'm sure if he is on social media, you'll see where this ends up. And of course, the final vehicle they owned, if you follow the channel, you'll know, is this tanker, this 14-ton tank wagon. And as you've seen in one of the previous videos, I did actually purchase this myself, so that once again secures its long-term future here at the Colne Valley Railway. So another asset that is sold is this 040 saddle tank behind me, known as Number 1. I'll put the official name of it on the screen now. This particular Loco was pivotal in us getting the funds to purchase engineering, so this was sold fairly early on. However, it's still here as we wait for the owner. We've given the owner a little bit of time to get the transport sorted out and things like that. Again, if you keep an eye on Facebook, I'm sure you'll see where this ends up. So another item of stock we have for sale here is this privately owned Ruston 165. Now this is actually the size up from my 88DS, and of course the family of three would be then the 48DS below mine. However, yes, this is the one we have for sale. As I mentioned, it's privately owned. It starts up fine, the donkey engine runs fine. I believe there's a couple of air leaks, and as you can see, it is in need of a bit of cosmetic TLC. But yeah, if this is of interest, again, you can come and view it. We have had a couple of parties interested, but at the time of filming, as I mentioned, it is still available. So yeah, if you're interested, drop me an email and you can come and take a look at it. So one of the last couple of items I want to update you about is this sleeping coach. Now this is currently for sale. It is open to any reasonable offers. It's currently sat on two Commonwealth bogies, which obviously wasn't the original. I believe it contains around 12 lockable sleeping compartments. There are areas of damage in the ceiling panels at both ends. However, we're looking to either sell it as a whole, either the body, and then keep the bogies, or if not, worst comes to worst, we'll have it scrapped and cut up on site. So again, like the other items, if this is of something of interest, just drop me an email if you wish to come and take a look at it. But as I said, open to reasonable offers. No, these two Mark IIIs are not for sale. However, this is relating to the last bit of rolling stock that has actually left the site. The old restaurant car has now left us, and that has gone just down the road to the Whitwell and Reefham Railway. So I'll put a couple of pictures in here now of it either leaving or arriving at its new home. But of course, we replaced these with this lovely Mark III seating car and the buffet car behind us. The facilities here are far superior to anything we were going to have before, and over the Christmas period, these have proved really, really valuable to the railway. So once again, thank you, Martin and Neil, for bringing these down here. They're absolutely brilliant, and hopefully they will be in use on select days throughout this season as well. So if you don't fancy using the buffet car in the 5-car set, we've got the static one here as well, with some really comfy seats and usually a lovely selection of food in the kitchen as well. So another huge project that's been going on over the winter period while we've been closed to the public is the relaying of this section of our 7¼ ride-on railway. As you can see, a lot of work has been done to remove part of the bank all the way to the left-hand side of the shot just here. And this is to basically allow us to continue the track just behind the camera all the way down the side of what is currently going to be platform 0 into 3 roads down the end. One will be for carriages, one for wagons, and one as our new diesel depot. Now, again, this is all very long term. If I can, I'll actually put a picture of the plan up on the screen now, just for you guys to get a rough visualisation of what we plan to do. Of course, the main aim was to clear the rear of the site. Once those last bits of track work have been done, we can then get to work on Newman's. Newman's is the name of this area down here, these sidings. As you'll see from the shots here, we actually have the gravel and the drainage that's ready to go in. So when Charles gets a moment, he can start digging out a channel down here, as the soil here is quite clayey. It's not very good for drainage. So the priority will be making sure we've got a good foundation to work on, and then we can start relaying track on top of this. We've got plenty, as you've seen from the start shot, concrete sleepers and wooden sleepers to get all of this relayed all the way down to the far end of the site, which will open up a whole host of new opportunities for us for working on things undercover finally, which means I can get the brake van in there and get cracking on with that. And use again, as I say, of platform 0, which I believe will probably have the TPO set here and the Victoria line demonstration down here as well. The TPO itself will be opened throughout the season. It is going to be on the platform, so still accessible, even though we've had to move it from the other side of the site. It hasn't stopped us being able to use it throughout the season. So if that's something you did want to see, that is available throughout this year. But all that's left to do for the mini rail guys, I believe, is to get this all ballasted and all levelled nicely. They did quite a lot of work at tamping down the ground underneath it here. As you can see, they've had a lot of work to do to get the track over this side to allow us to continue the work on the full-size stuff. And as you can see here, we've got a bit of the ballast that we've reclaimed from around the back, a bit of the ballast and hardcore, which we'll again use to sort the levelling out for the track. So that's it for this section. Let's move on to the end of the site. In preparation for the start of the season, the Carriage guys have been working tirelessly on our push-pull set, which is made up of this Gresley and the Mark 1 behind it. The idea being that obviously the steam engine or the diesel can take it down to the other end, and then we can propel back, saving having to do run rounds when the loops are full of stock and other things like that. Just makes the operation side of it much easier. It means the guard can stay in this end. This end is also fitted out with horn and lights as well. So obviously when you're propelling, you've got your headlight on there and the horn to warn people of any danger. But yeah, the Carriage and Wagon group have done a fantastic job making progression on this. As you can see, it looks really nice, and I believe they've started paintwork on the Mark 1 behind it as well. So all coming along slowly, and of course if you are visiting us this season, then you have a chance to take this for a ride up and down the line. Of course it wouldn't be a Wardle Restorations video without getting a shot of the rusting in, but the reason I'm here is to actually let you guys know that of course we still have all our power cars, so fear not HST lovers, none of them have left us. If you wish to use one of these for a DriveX, they are available, so I'll leave a link or a contact detail just below. They are extremely popular and obviously only on certain days throughout the year, and they are selling fast. So if you do want to get one, make sure you get in contact as soon as possible and get yourself booked in for a fantastic day out on one of our Class 43s. Elsewhere on the model rail, the guys have been working over the winter period to upgrade some of the electronics as well as improve some of the scenery. The estates team are working hard on converting this coach into a post-World War II living quarters, which should be available to view later on this season. And finally, the S&T team have started work on their crossing gate upgrade, as well as the recent addition of a telephone line installed into ash pit sidings. So guys, that is where we're going to leave it for today's video. I did really just want to give an update as to what's going on here at the railway, as to why I haven't been working on the other projects. But as I said, we're a small railway with very limited volunteers, so it was very much a case of everyone getting stuck in to help the railway. We've tried our best, as you'll see, if you do visit the site this year, to try and keep it as tidy as possible and try and neaten it up to make it a bit more presentable. But if you do want to volunteer and get stuck in and give us a hand, we're always welcoming new volunteers, no matter what your background or your skill level is in any particular area. You'll be made more than welcome here down the railway. If you want to get in contact, I will leave a link to our website below, or you can drop me an email or a message on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. Any way you want to get in touch, and I'll connect you to the right people here. But other than that, any feedback, please do leave it in the comment section down below. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and as always, if you're new here, please do subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.